I was a kid, I didn't have a perfect vision of my future. I didn't wake up with a step-by-step plan. Like most young people, I was asked the same question over and over again. What do you want to be when you grow up? And most of the time, I didn't really have an answer. But something stuck with me. A quote I once read from Arthur C. Clarke, the science fiction writer. He said, "Any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic." That line changed the way I looked at the world. Because if you think about it, it's true. Imagine traveling back just a few hundred years. If you pulled out a smartphone in front of people in the 1600s and showed them live video from across the ocean, they would think it was sorcery. If you flew across the sky in a plane, they would call it witchcraft. If you explained that billions of people are connected instantly through invisible signals in the air, they wouldn't even have the vocabulary to understand it. That's the beauty of human progress. What once seemed impossible, even unimaginable, becomes ordinary. Technology, when advanced enough, doesn't just feel like magic. It actually creates possibilities beyond what anyone could have dreamed. And I thought to myself, what if I could be part of that? What if I could help build the next version of magic? That became my motivation. I didn't just want to make money, and I didn't just want to live a comfortable life. I wanted to do something that mattered, something that pushed humanity forward. But there was always this lingering question. Why does it matter? What's the purpose? For me, the answer has always been knowledge and survival. If we can expand human understanding, if we can push the boundaries of what's possible, then we become more capable of asking better questions. And if we become a species that doesn't just survive on Earth but thrives beyond it, then we give humanity a future that is not only longer but brighter. To me, that's what makes life worth living. The idea that the future can be more inspiring than the past. Now, one of the visions that drives me most is the idea of humanity as a multi-planetary species. Sure, survival is part of it. Staying on one planet forever is risky. History has shown us that catastrophes happen. But beyond survival, it's about excitement. It's about adventure. Imagine two futures. In the first, we remain on Earth, never leaving, never exploring, until eventually something ends it all. In the second, we expand beyond this planet. We build cities on Mars, explore moons of Jupiter, maybe even travel beyond the solar system one day. Which one would you rather wake up to? I believe people need hope. We need goals that are bigger than ourselves. Life can't just be about solving problems and paying bills. There has to be something that makes us excited to get out of bed. That sense of wonder and purpose is what drives progress. But here's the truth. Getting there takes an insane amount of work. When my brother and I started our first company, we didn't live in a nice apartment. We couldn't afford one. We rented a tiny office, slept on the floor, and showered at the YMCA. We were broke, but we had a vision. We had only one computer. During the day, the website had to be live, so at night I would stay up coding. 7 days a week. No vacations, no safety net. I briefly had a girlfriend at that time. The only way she could spend time with me was by sleeping at the office. That's how much I worked. Every waking hour went into building that company. That's what I tell entrepreneurs today. Work every waking hour. Because here's the reality. Most people work 40 hours a week. If you work 80 to 100 hours, you're literally putting in 2 to 3 times more effort. That compresses years of progress into months. It increases your odds of success exponentially. But there's a catch. You can't just work hard on the wrong thing. Wishful thinking is a trap. Entrepreneurs often fall in love with their ideas and refuse to see flaws. The hardest challenge is to ask yourself honestly, am I working on something meaningful or am I chasing an illusion? You need brutal self-analysis. You need to balance optimism with realism. That's the razor's edge of entrepreneurship. And let me be clear, none of this means you won't feel fear. People assume that entrepreneurs are fearless. That's not true. I feel fear all the time. Fear of failure, fear of losing, fear of letting people down. But here's the difference. When something is important enough, when the mission matters deeply, you keep going anyway. Fear doesn't disappear. You just act in spite of it. Fear is normal. Drive is what carries you through it. At the end of the day, it all comes down to belief. Belief that your work matters. Belief that your vision is worth pursuing. And belief that the future can be greater than the past. Because if you believe in that, then every sacrifice, every long night, every moment of doubt becomes fuel. And one day, when humanity is out there among the stars, when people look back on this era of history, they'll remember it as the time we stopped dreaming small and started building big. That's why I say, work every waking hour, dream bigger than anyone else, and never stop pushing toward the future. So remember, work hard, dream big, believe in what you're building, and never stop. Because the future will belong to those who refuse to give up. Here's how I build. Start from first principles. Don't ask, what's the industry standard? Ask, what do physics and the numbers allow? Strip a problem to its fundamentals and rebuild it. When you stop copying yesterday's assumptions, you start inventing tomorrow's solutions. Then iterate, fast. Ship, listen, fix, ship again. Invite feedback that bites. Ask people who don't owe you kindness. Where does this fail? Praise is pleasant. Criticism is fuel. Guard your time. Activity isn't impact. Meetings aren't momentum. Measure output by what gets built and shipped. Focus on signal. Cut the noise and repeat. Make, test, learn. Remember the human core of ambition. The goal isn't to become a machine. It's to build machines that make life better. Set a standard that pulls everyone upward. Leadership is taking responsibility when things go wrong and giving away credit when they go right. In the United States, we celebrate the garage, the dorm room, the kitchen table, places where ordinary people start extraordinary things. Innovation isn't reserved for perfect resumes. You might be working 2 jobs or paying off loans and still carve an hour tonight to move your idea forward. Small, consistent pushes become momentum. So pick the hard problem. Do work that makes your younger self proud and your future self grateful. Say yes to the mission that scares you a little, and then, hour after hour, build.